Alaska's wilderness is legendary, but some places are darker than others. Deep in the southeast panhandle lies Thomas Bay, a place locals call the Bay of Death, or Devil's Country. These names come from stories of terror and strange disappearances. Long before gold prospectors arrived, the Tlingit people warned of the Kushtaka, shape-shifting otter men who lured victims to their doom. The land itself seems to hold on to these legends, with fog and silence that feel almost alive. In the early 1900s, prospectors flocked to Alaska, but Thomas Bay's reputation was different. Men vanished, and fear grew. The consistency of these chilling accounts hinted at something real lurking in the shadows. The most famous story comes from Harry D. Culp, who documented his friend's terrifying journey into Devil's Country. This isn't just a campfire tale, it's a first-hand account that still haunts Alaska's folklore. What happened in Thomas Bay? Why do its legends persist? Let's follow the story of one man who dared to enter the heart of Devil's Country. His experience would give a face to the fears that haunt this wild place. This is the legend of Thomas Bay, and it begins with the lure of gold. In the spring of 1900, Harry D. Culp and his friend Charlie were prospectors searching for gold near Thomas Bay. A local Tlingit man told Charlie of a hidden crescent-shaped lake high in the mountains, rumored to be rich with gold. Despite warnings about the bay's dark reputation, Charlie was determined to find it. Culp tried to dissuade him, but the promise of gold was too strong. Charlie set out alone, equipped for a few days in the wilderness. As he rode toward the dense forests, the mountains loomed and the bay seemed to swallow him whole. The forest was a wall of green and shadow, and Charlie was heading straight into legend. Culp watched his friend disappear, uneasy and filled with dread. Charlie was driven by dreams of fortune, but he was entering a place others feared to tread. The silence after his departure was heavy, as if the land itself was holding its breath. What awaited Charlie in Devil's Country would become one of Alaska's most chilling tales. Sometimes the promise of gold is just the beginning of a nightmare, and in Thomas Bay, nightmares have a way of coming true. Charlie's journey was about to take a dark turn. The wilderness was watching, and it was not friendly. Charlie hacked his way through thick brush, feeling watched with every step. The silence was unnatural. No birds, no animals, just the sound of his own breath. He finally reached the crescent-shaped lake, just as described. The beauty of the place was overshadowed by a sense of menace. Charlie set up camp, but the feeling of being watched only grew stronger. He tried to focus on panning for gold, but unease gnawed at him. As dusk fell, the oppressive silence pressed in. He built a small fire, clutching his rifle, but couldn't shake the fear that something was out there. The wilderness felt ancient and hostile. For the first time, Charlie was truly afraid. He didn't know what was watching him, but he knew he wasn't welcome. The night in Devil's Country was just beginning. Charlie's night was filled with strange guttural noises from the woods. Exhausted but determined, he returned to the lake at dawn and made a horrifying discovery. He found strange fibrous material mixed with pulverized rock leading into a narrow canyon. Inside, the ground was littered with shredded debris and human remains mangled beyond recognition. The scene was too bizarre for any known animal. A foul, sulfurous smell filled the air, and a strange humming echoed from deeper in the canyon. Overcome by terror, Charlie fled, abandoning all his gear. He ran through the forest, haunted by what he'd seen, desperate to escape. He reached his boat and rowed away, leaving Devil's Country and his dreams of gold behind. He would never forget the nightmare he found in Thomas Bay. When Charlie returned, he was a changed man, pale, shaken and haunted. He described hairy, devilish creatures and the carnage he'd witnessed. Harry D. Culp documented every detail, preserving the story for generations. The written account gave the legend credibility, and it spread across Alaska and beyond. Was it the Kushtaka, an undiscovered creature, or something else? The mystery endures, drawing curiosity seekers and skeptics alike. Thomas Bay remains a place of beauty and dread, its shadowy legend alive. Some say the wilderness still watches, waiting for the next unwary soul. In Alaska, some stories are more than legend, they're warnings. And the Bay of Death is one story that refuses to die.